Okay, so hello everyone. In this video, I'll show you how you can tune up and adjust or tilt this pump manually. Meaning, unlike the method I showed in this video, using this indicator and pre-stroke measuring tool, okay, complete 4D56 tune up. So in this video, I will show you how you can adjust this manually while the engine is running, okay? I have to do this because on the last video, diesel hard start problem, I tilted this clockwise and anti-clockwise just to prove to you that diesel hard start is not caused by the glow plugs. But like I've said in that video, it's not just as simple as tilting this clockwise or all the way counterclockwise, okay? It requires a slightly more finesse method in doing so, okay? So because of the last video, my engine is now producing smoke, especially when I rev it up. Okay, I'll show you in a while. Now, before we even bother to start this engine and make our adjustments, I think it's very important for us to have an even basic understanding of how this thing works and what tilting this pump would achieve, okay? And that is why I made this, in order to give you an illustration of what will happen when we tilt this pump. Okay, so think of this, okay, illustration as viewing the pump from this angle, okay? And this is your fuel solenoid or your shut-off valve, which is this guy right here, okay? I repeat, we are looking at this illustration from this side, okay? And this 4, okay, represents these 4 fuel ports, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And this, okay, maybe we can call them earlobes. This one represents this, and there's another one on the other side. And this, okay, hold on. And this circle represents this sprocket, okay? And this is the plunger inside here, okay, this one. So the way this thing works is that when you switch on your engine like that, that's going to turn on this fuel solenoid or shut-off valve. And what actually happens is the valve that is in here is going to be pulled up, thereby allowing diesel to go into this plunger, okay? As you start the engine, cranking the engine, this pump, okay, illustrated here, will also turn. So it's going to distribute diesel from here to this plunger to each corresponding fuel ports. So cylinder number 1, and as it turns, cylinder number 3, cylinder number 4, okay, then cylinder number 2, and then it will revert back to cylinder number 1, okay? So like I've said in my video complete 4D56 tune-up, the firing order of this engine is 1, 3, 4, 2, okay? And on this pump, 1, 3, 4, 2, okay? So 1, you follow that line, 1, 3, follow this line, 4, follow this line there, and 2, 1, 3, 4, 2. So as this sprocket turns, okay, this plunger as well also turns and distribute that diesel corresponding to the right cylinder, okay? But this thing doesn't just turn. As this turns, okay, I will illustrate that with the socket. As this thing turns like that, it also plunges, thereby pumping the diesel, okay, something like that. So 1, okay, hold on, 1, 3, 4, 2. So this is for cylinder number 1, cylinder number 3, cylinder number 4, cylinder number 2. 1, 3, 4, 2, 1, 3, 4, 2. So the designers of this engine, especially as well as this pump, purposely allowed a gap on this earlobe, okay? Right, so, and that's because as you are performing a tune-up on this engine, meaning you are fixing the timing of this engine, as you can see, the timing belt is here, the timing mark is here, also here, okay, that is aligned there, And when you're trying to tune up and fix the timing of this engine, this gap on this earlobe allows you, when you tilt this pump, allows you to fine-tune the timing of the delivery of diesel. You see, you tilt this clockwise, that will advance the introduction of diesel. Counterclockwise, that will delay the timing of diesel. So when you have the timing marks on your engine, on this as well as this, okay, lined up there, hope you can see that, that is top dead center for cylinder number 1, meaning the first cylinder that is going to fire is cylinder number 1. Okay, 1, 3, 4, 2. So you must understand, when you tilt this either clockwise or counterclockwise, it's not just a matter of tilting this all the way clockwise or all the way anti-clockwise. Okay, it requires a more finesse method than that, because when you tilt this pump, okay, I'll use this screw, that just leaves you a play or gap of maybe 5mm to 6mm at the most, tilting this pump. So it's not just a matter of tilting it like clockwise, I mean counterclockwise, or all the way clockwise. Because if we are going to actually adjust and tune this up using this method, the dial indicator and this pre-stroke measuring tool, we're only talking really only about less than a millimeter movement at a time. Okay, that's how finesse it is. But granted, not all of us have this. Okay, so that's why in this video I'm going to show you how you can do it manually while the engine is running. Okay, so let's get to it. The first thing I'll do is I'm going to remove the brackets for these fuel lines. I've already done that. Then loosen this fuel injector pump. So this pump is held on by 2 bolts below, okay, one here and one here. So let's loosen that bolts, okay, here as well, and 2 nuts here, okay, one here and one on the other side. Like I said, one here, one on the other side. Okay, so I'm going to loosen the nut on the other one first. Okay, and as for this one, I'm going to keep this in place, but just to show you, I'm going to remove this all the way out, okay, just so I can show you the amount of movement that we really only have. Okay, so you see that gap, that is only the amount of movement that we have. Okay, so I'm going to screw this nut back in. Okay, come on, turn. So the only thing that's holding this pump tight is this nut. Okay, so when I start the engine, what we are aiming to do is we are going to adjust and tilt this pump little by little, ever so slowly. Okay, little by little, and as we do, we will rev this engine up and watch out for white smoke out the tailpipe. Okay, so I will now start the engine. So before I'm going to rev this up, okay, it's important to at least wait at the very least 30 seconds. Like I've said in my video, 30 seconds to prolong the life of your engine. It is imperative to wait at the very least 30 seconds before you even bother to rev the engine up. Okay, so it has been 30 seconds now. I'm going to rev this engine up and let's see if it's going to smoke. Okay, you can see it's producing white smoke. Now loosen this. Okay, I'll show you what will happen if we're going to turn this pump counterclockwise. Okay, See, listen to the engine, the sound of the engine change. Okay, like I've said, be careful when using this crowbar technique. Well, going to tighten this down, and let's see what happens if we're going to rev the engine. See, more white smoke. See? So now we're going to tilt this again clockwise. Okay, it already moved. Going to tighten that down. Let's rev the engine. Okay. Less smoke. Let's see if we can get rid of that smoke some more. Going to loosen this. Okay, it moved again, all its own because of the tension of the fuel lines. Going to tighten that down, then rev the engine. See? Less and less smoke. Okay. Let's try to tilt that some more. Okay. Counterclockwise, I mean clockwise. Okay, just a little bit. Okay. Let's rev the engine. I do believe I'm going to keep it there, okay? See? I'll show you again, I'll repeat the process. Let's loosen this up. Okay. See? Counterclockwise. Okay, let's see if it's going to spew smoke. And it does. If we're going to delay the timing, meaning counterclockwise more, then lock it down. Okay. You see? See? More white smoke. Now I'm going to turn it again. Actually the pump tilts by itself because already of the tension, the fuel line. Okay, so you see, no white smoke. So I do believe I'm gonna keep it there. Okay? Okay, so now I'm going to shut off the engine and let's see if it's going to hard start. Because if we did that correctly, it should not hard start. And it started right away. Okay? So, let's okay, so basically no more white smoke. A little bit, but not too much. Anyway, so that's how you can adjust this pump manually while the engine is running, okay? And Let's again test. It should not hard start, and it should not smoke out the tailpipe. And it did. And again, let's see if it's going to be low white smoke out the tailpipe. And there is not. Okay. Okay, so as you have seen, if you have done this properly, you would get rid of hard starting, you would get rid of white smoke when revving up, and I tell you, you would really feel your engine be more responsive, especially when accelerating. So all in all, if you have adjusted this perfectly, you would feel it. You would feel the engine be more efficient. So all in all, I do believe that's it. That's how you can adjust your fuel pump without actually having to use something like this. But if you ask me, if you have this, it's much better, it's much more accurate. Okay? But say for example, after doing this method, you're not satisfied, you can just do it again if you know how. Okay? You can always come back and adjust it a little bit more. Just be careful, like I've said, should you wish to use a crowbar to tilt this pump, okay? Because at times it becomes difficult to twist this pump because of the tension already applied by the fuel lines. As you see, even without twisting it, it's gonna twist on its own because of the tension of the fuel lines, okay? So should you wish to use a crowbar and wedge it between here and twist it, okay, be careful, otherwise you might break this off. So anyway, I do believe that's it. The next video I intend to make is about white smoke problem. Anyway, what you have seen is one solution of how to get rid of white smoke problem. Stay tuned, I intend to do more. So as for this one, I'll end it here. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope this can help you out. I hope you find it informative. Like, share, subscribe if you want to. Only if you want to. And as always, thank you for watching.